Alright, so have I got something unique for you all today. Landnama just arrived on the Switch after some time over on Steam, and if you like the sound of a roguelike survival base builder, then I may just have the game for you all. Now I do want to say this up front, this video is sponsored, but I've loved my time with the game, so I'm more than happy to voice my support. And if you do enjoy this video, do me a favour, subscribe and like it, it helps the channel a huge amount. Then if you do like the look of Landnama, check out the link in the pinned comment down below, show them some support. It's a tiny indie team of 3 that are simply making games they want to play, and at the end of the day, that's really what it's all about. So Landnama throws you into the role of the first Viking clans out to settle Iceland. It's non-violent, so you won't be worrying about battling enemies, rather you're going to be battling the different elements. Now at its core, it's a survival strategy game that brings together elements of dungeon crawling, city building and roguelike mechanics. It is a game that's constantly going to dial up its hostile environments, but it never feels unfair, and thanks to what I consider simple systems, it feels right at home on the Switch. So getting straight into it, expect to start with a tiny location. It's a hex-based grid map, and you'll be exploring the surrounding area, all of which is procedurally generated. Your role is to basically find vital resources, all while expanding your buildings, hub base and population. Now that sounds complex, but it's surprisingly not. They've created a system that feels instantly rewarding with a simple mechanic centered around hearts. So basically the core of this game is built around the meter you see at the top of the screen. This represents a year of in-game time, and each of the 4 markers, those represent a harvest. Now each of these gives you hearts. These hearts then are converted into construction and exploration. So for example, starting at any location, you're going to receive a measly 1 heart per harvest, with 4 being your maximum heart cap. So to expand this, you need to build. So you might find water and build a fishing village. This now gives you 1 extra heart per harvest. Maybe you want to expand that maximum cap, that needs a population. So in this case, build a house that increases the number of hearts you can carry at any one time. Basically, each tile here can only hold a single building, and that's where the exploration comes in, but also the strategy. You need to uncover the surrounding area and kind of optimize that layout you are going for. This exploration as well, on top of all of this, that also costs hearts, and you can only explore and construct so many objects at once. So I said like hearts 1,000 times already, but that's kind of very much a central theme of this game. But there are a number of buildings here to work with, and not all are built equal. So some reward more, others actually have certain attributes. So for example, woodcutting will actually deliver more hearts if there are empty forested areas connected to the location. So yeah, you need to be strategic and really understand all of the rules of each building. Additionally then, it's not just hearts, thankfully, because I don't think I can say that many more times, but some buildings may decrease how many hearts other buildings and exploration cost, a strategy that's very much worth exploring. It sounds simple, and I guess it would be if it wasn't then for the winter. You see, as each year passes, winter comes, and this will cost you a number of hearts to survive. Represented basically towards the right side of the meter, you can see a number there. You must finish your harvests in this area, and ideally above, because basically at the end of each year, you're going to roll a dice, and if the cost is more than the number of hearts you have, it is going to be game over, or at least it will be once you use, let's call it a predetermined number of continues allowed per level. Thankfully, the game really is designed to allow you to win. You can speed up or slow down time. Additionally, you can pause the game. It's going to provide some challenge, there's no question about that, but it's not unfair about it, and it does many things to alleviate the stress that could come alongside these moments. On top of that then as well, if you jump into the settings menu, there's actually a few options that could prove really helpful, such as auto pausing the game following winter, or maybe if a building is destroyed. And that note actually leads me to random events. Buildings being destroyed as just one example. These occur with exploration and time. So for example, you may uncover a tile that reveals winter's not going to be too bad this year, which reduces where you need to be at the end. That's a positive, of course. However, you might uncover a tile and your residents are struggling, in turn rioting and destroying your buildings. These moments give it a very board game-esque feel that I really liked. Additionally, there are key locations to uncover and special tiles. So these locations, they add specific attributes to the gameplay, only positive, and then the mentioned star tiles, they actually improve the output of the building you place there, so basically consider this almost ideal land. Finally, you're probably wondering, how do I win the game? And yes, technically it is endless, but it's actually simple enough. Get to the point where each harvest you gain 30 hearts. Once you do that, you can keep building or you can complete the settlement. That will actually save your progress as well, and it actually locks this particular clan to the area, so you can't use them for the rest of the map. Now then, you move to the next area and you start all over again with a different clan, of course, but now it's going to dial up that difficulty even more. Once you do settle all 6 regions of Iceland, that is considered saga complete, and in turn it actually unlocks new game modes. That's going to be an expedition mode, daily trails, and a weekly gauntlet. The game then also features achievements, and what I really like about the system here is they actually give you bonus points attached to them. These points allow you to unlock new clans and favors, which are modifiers on the way the game plays. You know, these are for sure not necessary on the normal difficulty, but I'm sure they come in useful when you do factor in normal is actually the lowest option, and there's 4 additional difficulties which do dial things up. So yeah, I've been having a blast overall from a gameplay perspective. As I say, it's got a really good grasp of presenting something strategic with enough options that yes, it can be intense at moments, but it avoids stress and frustration. The gameplay loop as well, it's rewarding, seeing that location grow, buildings go up, and finding success is generally great fun. And then it drip feeds you more and more buildings, because as you progress, the central base that starts on each map actually slowly automatically levels up. You'll even be earning skill points that can be attributed to certain areas, such as your skills at fishing. And yeah, it's one of those games that seems potentially complex on initial look, but the second you actually jump in, you really do pick it up within about 15 minutes. As a final note then on the game, it's all helped out with a chilled out soundtrack, some nice effects to represent where you are in the early timeline, some moments of a little bit of extra, I guess, intensity, but then as well, just overall, the game gives you a lot of reasons to come back. Perhaps then as well, and my favourite thing, we haven't even mentioned this yet, in fact, the minimalistic visuals. It looks great, it makes it really easy to navigate, and it's particularly good for handheld play, which is always positive. It runs butter smooth on the Nintendo Switch, which is always a good thing to see. I do appreciate as well, like sure, it's minimalistic, but they put detail into the areas, I guess, to separate one from another, and it's honestly just exciting uncovering that next location and finding out what you're going to be doing next. Now, if you do want to check the game out, once again, I have a link in the pinned comment down below, but it's priced more than fairly here. The retail price is $13.99 in the US and Europe, $21 in Australia, and $12.59 in the UK. And you're getting a game that will keep you coming back. Naturally as well, the game will have discounts eventually. So even if it's not a right now purchase for you, give it a wish list. It's for sure one I'll be featuring in deals videos in the future. And just to give you kind of an idea, there was actually a launch discount here of 15% off. And at time of this video going live, there's still a couple of days left if you do want to jump in. So let me know in the comments, is this a strategy game that intrigues you, or maybe you've been playing it already? If so, would love to hear your thoughts down below. Once again then, thanks to the team over at Pineapple Works for sponsoring this video and asking me to tell you all about it. I've once again really enjoyed my time with it, so it was an absolute pleasure. And if you did enjoy the video, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks all.